Guess that will be halfway right. Looked over everything I got. Let's see what we got today. Anything with the ability to range out. Because there is a lot of beat down. Definitely not. Man. This point is just very AGRI. Let's look at some news. Good morning, good morning. Happy Friday. Looking at a couple of stocks. To be honest, this week has been pretty good. Maybe not so much for the low floats. It's been a little choppy, but overall, we like to come out of every week a little bit more green. So that's what we've been doing, just during these slow periods, just kind of taking our time and taking our profit. I only took one trade this week in the low floats. It was like 100 something bucks or something like that. But other than that, I really just focus on those sniper shots, especially in a slower time. You gotta kind of put those brakes on. But for today, we got a lot of more penny stocks moving. LIFW, and a lot of these little penny stocks, you really have to be you really have to have a tight strategy for them, because a lot of people get in big, and whether they're sellers or longs or whatever, let's say if they buy, I don't know, 20,000 shares in one trade, or 50,000 shares, or 100,000 shares in one trade. Just because it's cheap doesn't mean they're not dumping that many shares, right? So if they buy that big, when they sell, that's a lot of shares to get filled. Even though, looking at the float, or not the float, the volume right now, let's say on LIFW, somebody was buying, 10,000 share chunks, that volume would be getting to 100 million very quickly. And so I'm looking at the interest overall. How interested are people in a certain stock? Especially at that price range, that thing should be way through the roof. But another thing we have to consider is these shares outstanding. which give us an indicator that the float is a little bit higher than we would like. So it could get choppy throughout the day. AGRI is a previous, I think we seen this one like maybe a year. Let me see. When was this last pop? So it had a gap up from 137 up here to 333s, and it's got beat down for the majority of the time on AGRI. And I don't think it has no news on today. AgriForce Growing Systems. Another one that I saw was NKLA, Nikola. Shares trading higher after the company announced an expansion of dealer sales to Canada for its Class 8 trucks in Canada or whatever. So it's got some news. It's $1.31, only up 13%, 22 million shares, and it has a higher float as well. So may have a tighter range. You miss NKLA at 80 cents. Yep. Been beat down, beat down. Let's see, right up here, had a run up from 50 cents all the way up to $3.78. Came back down here to, yeah, right at 80 cents. But the thing is, I don't know if you actually missed that, because that really wasn't a spot where a lot of people were looking. I don't think, unless let me put 80 cents on here and then extend that to the left. Let's see if that point is something. No, that's like a no man's point. You know, it's, if I was looking for anything, I'd be looking for maybe this dollar right here. A nice touch into this dollar and a nice bounce off of it, which is where it's holding that holding above right now. But I kind of look at the daily chart and look for places where everybody can see, and that's where I want to be buying. Everybody can see that as support. EBET. Yeah, that's what happens when you get a stock that everybody can't see. There's not enough participation, or maybe the catalyst isn't good enough for more money to come down. But yeah, these stocks definitely have been playing. We saw a nice gameplay yesterday on what was that stock? UPTD. UPTD from yesterday was absolutely massacring people on these wicks. So let me type that in. UPTD. Whoops, didn't go in. Okay, this one. I saw this one early. And it didn't really have any kind of story in pre-market. Started ripping from 7 and it halted into like the $9 and something. And then it shot up some more and it eventually touched 15 and then made its way down. But the ride was so choppy. If we jump over here to Street Smart Edge on UPTD, these wicks were killer wicks. Think about buying here, or let me move this somewhere. Think about buying, let's say if you're getting in at 12, or no, if you're buying high, you're definitely in trouble. Let's say on this count, if you bought at 14.58, this thing rips all the way back down to 12.83. That's a $2, a little over a $2 loss per share. So when I see stocks like this, something tells me that there must be some kind of hidden mover in the market. And we ended up spotting the hidden mover. We've been calling the hidden mover. Where the money is oil. Oil broke over 90 yesterday, and we're expecting it to continue up. I already got my oil plays lined up. I'm already in them. So, you know, just watching oil. I started buying oil into oil plays when it was at what, 60 something dollars, $64, and just letting it play out. It can come down, go up, whatever, but I'm just like, just keep on ticking, keep on moving. Something with UTI. Okay. Don't we have the ISO to boot to it? Okay. All right, I'll get that. But yeah, in those situations where there's large wicks and a lot of risk, there's not many levels that were on the daily chart that could be spotted on UPTD. So on the daily chart, it was the first. Now this thing had been beat down for a while. It was the first high over a long period of dissension. So this pop over 842 just got a bunch of action there. But it did have lower volume than we're used to seeing at that price level. And it was also missing a good catalyst. So it didn't give that much of assurance. And then on the daily chart, if we go out here to the 15-minute, you can see more and more of the war zone that was going on there. Just absolute trash. So in these situations, you really just it's hard to manage your risk because of the big range. You know, most people put their stops too close on a stock like this. You buy at 12, it rinses down to 11.29. Most people will put their stop at 11.50. They're like, all right, I'm gonna buy at 12. You know, if it hits 12.50 or if it hits 11.50, I'll be out the bottom of this wick, and it comes down to 11.30 something, and they're stopped out. That's what I don't want to be a part of. I like safety, and I like knowing that I have some type of edge in the market. Appreciate that, Trail. Yeah, that's pretty much what I try to do. Me and Donnell, we always hang out in the Discord, and we're always talking about this stuff. And you know, when I first started, I really wasn't into the planning part, if that makes sense. Planning out, looking back, understanding the sentiment, understanding the overall market. I was just like, man, bro, it's going up. It's like, it's going up though. It's going up. I'm like, nah, bro. There's much better setups out there, and if you can find them, you can, you know, get rid of that fear and just make it mechanical. That's what you want. But I do try to formulate some kind of thesis on the day, every day, or not on the day, but on the ticker name that I'm interested in. Why is it going to bounce at this support level? Are people going to want to pick it up and all of this? And the more confirmations, whether it's the float, whether it's the news or whatever, the higher the score goes for that specific ticker. And I guess you have to kind of build your own scoring system based on your data, whatever data you get from your trades. So if you want to base your score system off of 100 trades, 1,000 trades, whatever, but the more trades that are in there, the stronger that scoring system is going to be. Break up your trades. Hey, this is, you know, this is a downtrend strategy. This is an uptrend strategy. This is a range play strategy. You know, oh, this is a catalyst play where the catalyst is biopharmaceuticals and it's cancer. Just put all the cancer plays in there together and be like, okay, this is what happens when these types of things come about. Will I be able to jump in or get the opportunity that I want on this? All right, let's see. Yeah, Trail, man. I was so thirsty, man. When I first came, I just I don't know, man. Not only was I was like, I think every trader goes through this. They start trading and they're like, oh my gosh, I really like this. Even if they're losing, they're like, man, I do not want to accept defeat. I will not accept defeat. And they start pushing down this road, and it's I think every trader goes through that. The starvation period, I guess you can call it, where you're in it and you're seeing all this stuff on YouTube, you're seeing all this stuff everywhere else. You're like, bro, I can do that. And it's a starvation period where you're like getting your scalp pulled back because you're like, I can do that. And that's what prop traders and that's what the big money is waiting for. People to come in and say, I can do that. And they're sitting back with their little algorithms, their little whiteboards and chalkboards, calculating and playing with your emotions. But you just gotta keep pushing. And that's why it's so powerful to have your own data points, your own trading, your own lived experience. Because there is no way you can take anybody else's strategy without their lived experience. You're gonna end up losing your shoes and not being able to afford cereal. Yep, the market is hungry for the facts. And as much as people say, the market is emotional and, people are going through all of these emotions, in the midst of those emotions, there's still facts. Like when people see a dump, no matter who they are, it's human to be like, oh my gosh, this thing may not stop going down. That's just a human thing. That's a fact. If you see it ripping, you're like FOMO. Oh my goodness, this thing might not stop going up. But our, I guess you could say, job or commitment is to say, okay, this thing's going up or down. How can I capture a percentage of the move instead of getting caught up? Because any entry is going to be a FOMO entry. Your fear of missing out on the entry. That's the whole thing. But we're managing the risk of if it doesn't go our way. Every single trade is a FOMO trade. There are no regular trades. No, you're expecting to get something out of it. You're expecting not to miss out on the move. People are like, oh man, we got to get rid of FOMO. If you're pressing the buy button, sell button, FOMO is there. It's in full swing. And Reliable disagrees with that statement. I feel that. So you take trades not expecting to make any money. You just good. You just take them trades, man. Get you 100 shares and, whether it goes down, whether it goes up. Matter of fact, you might as well go all in. Take you 3,000 shares since it just doesn't matter. And there's no FOMO, right? No fear of missing out, no fear of losing money. Forget the management. Just throw it out the window. Reliable. That's what I'm talking about. Risk versus reward, dude. What? Investing is different from trading as well. I mean, when it comes to the time, sure, but you know, still the same sentiment. You want to make money. Nobody's just out here buying stuff just to be buying it, you know. And it doesn't make sense to be out here just buying stuff when there are professionals out here ready to rip the soles of your feet off. They actually want you to come in and increase the liquidity in the market. It's like, oh yeah, come on in here. Come on in here. Let me show you something. Be quick. But anyway, Looking over the scans right now, we're just waiting. AGRI is still up, and of course these are just penny stocks, 15 cents, 10 cents. So the range may or may not be there. You got to be very, very cognizant of taking what the market gives you down there, because it can definitely reverse very quickly. Let's see what Reliable is saying out here. Reliable is saying investing is different. Maybe I just want to own a part of a particular business, even if I'm expecting the price to fall. But eventually you're expecting it to go up though, right? You're just getting in. That's how I'm trading. I want the price to come on down to good prices in the expectation of the reversal. It's like that's what I'm saying, Trail. Like, why own it? That's like that's like going into a business that you absolutely know will fail and being like in the hopes. I don't even know how you would. I don't even know how that mindset will work. I don't know. I I look at the businesses that are doing good, like Walmart, Kroger, Amazon, things like that. Nobody was like, I think Amazon's gonna fail. Let me buy that. What they think is, I think these are good prices, or the valuation of this company right now is at a level that I want to get ownership. And if it continues to be consistent, these prices, this valuation will rise. That's the thought process. Can I get a fair deal entry, right? Can I get a good entry? And, the potential is there for this thing to go in the direction that I want it to go. He said fringe benefits, maybe. Let's see. Maybe I have conviction the company is undervalued and or has short-term headwinds. An undervalued company can have short-term headwinds, but long-term is a no-brainer. You never know how the market prices in the short-term movement. Yeah, yeah, that's yeah. But but I still don't know how you're disagreeing with my original statement that every trade is a FOMO trade. Every single trade, no matter how calculated it is, if you have risk at all, the fear of missing out can burn you. So I don't know your disagreement. You're pretty much proving my point, but I don't know. We'll see. I think you know what I think it is. I think reliable. Some days he just wakes up and chooses, like he's like, today's gonna be the day. Let's just do something crazy. And reliable, he definitely has. Of course, every trader has their own perspective of the market, how they view it, and all of that. Um, reliable definitely has a perspective that can make you think. Think about new trades or just trying to find out where he is so you can fight. But yeah, reliable is definitely a reliable is definitely a character. Of course, reliable does his own live stream as well, and he'll probably be live streaming after this. He does do a lot of portfolio building, trading mid caps, large caps, and all caps, I guess. Um, of course, I've been on a dividend tangent. I've been freaking grabbing dividends left and right. Oh, and we have 4 minutes to the bell right now. I guess we'll watch LIFW out of the open. It's 84% up. It is a lower price one. It'll probably end up failing pretty quick. AGR. Let me put some of these up here real quick. AGRI. Just want to see what new comes about here. Nicola 14. Let's see where these want to go. AWIN, man, everything's like a penny stock. That range is what we need to get paid. All right, so we'll watch LIFW out of the open. Only 10 cents down there. Since it's no risk, no reward, you know, you could take 20,000 shares. But remember that this channel is for entertainment purposes only. So this is not financial advice. Don't dive into anything that you do not understand. This is an ocean. There are sharks in the ocean. There is blood in the water. So take it at your own risk. You know, take everything I say as a grain of salt. If you can find some kind of application in your own life, great. But, you know, we're not out here trying to get anybody castrated. All right, let's see. CGC. What is CGC doing? Up 16%. That was a cannabis play on CGC. You know, we got to do the disclaimers because, you know, things get real crazy out here. Let's see. Reliable says BDRX gapping over your market or your alert from yesterday. BDRX, does it have that volume though? Is it a day trade or swing? BDRX. Okay, got 300,000. It's got to get some more volume there. Yeah, when I first started, another thing that I was doing was trying to trade those penny stocks, the cheaper ones. And I guess that was when I was trading with a much smaller account. Um, and trying to build a strategy for those is it's definitely a whole different world down there. You know, you have to be okay with just, oh wow, I'm up 2 pennies. Let's sell. You know, it's a different world. AGRI, big wicks. See these 3 big wicks on the hour chart. Look at these sizes on the level 2. 25,000 shares there. 56,000 shares. So definitely some thick levels here with these prices. And most people be like, oh well, if that price breaks like that 15.6, maybe it'll just continue down. Not necessarily with penny stocks. There's so many people willing to participate, especially with a lot of volume. Those big falls, I mean, they can happen, but for the most part, penny stocks kind of grind around. They have very small percentage moves overall. But we're looking at LIFW out of the open. We'll see if we can find anything else coming up on the scans. Yeah, Trail. That telling you, protecting that account, taking those little winners, those base hits. That's what you got to do, man. Base hits. I'm telling you. And a lot of people, they be like, oh well, a base hit is, you know, $100. For some people, base hit is $20 for some people. The thing is, once you figure out with your own trading, your own analysis, what a base hit is, do it over and over and over and over again. Just keep doing it. You know, you find something, maybe it fails for a little bit. Maybe there's some time in the market where it's like, oh man, this isn't working anymore. Keep it on the tool belt, keep it close. Because I'm telling you, some of these strategies, everything happens in cycles. And just because your strategy may go out of season for maybe a couple of days or a week or something like that, keep it close. Sharpen that sword. Because you got to remember, all in all, the market will pay stupid too. The market will pay people that do bad things, that make bad choices, and it'll reward them sometimes, right? We rather be rewarded for something that we've seen multiple times, a criteria we've seen multiple times, and moving from there. Because I've definitely seen the market pay stupid. All right, CGC was one that I had just pulled up. It's up 20%, 12 million shares on board. It's getting a little trading up here towards the $1.50. Has a uptrend. Well, it's settled here at 125s and has uptrend off the 125s. But we're gonna start doing a little scanner patrol here in a minute and start cleaning up some of these trash stocks, getting them off here. I just wanted to see them fail. Nikola actually had news on the day. They're getting new trucks in Canada, Class 8 trucks in Canada. And then CGC, it also had news on the day. It's on social media. Actually, I found this site for social media posts when you have meme stocks. They call it YOLOstocks.live. YOLOstocks.live, which is insane to me. And look, CGC's on there. CGC has a little bit of pull there. And this one, it was a funny website when I found it. But they definitely keep up with all the stocks that are being talked about in like Reddits and in what's that other one? Stock twits. There's a couple of stock pushing things, and you kind of see what the most memed stocks are, most mentioned stocks are. But that's just another resource if you want to look out there at that. Reliable says PAGS neckline break. What is PAGS? We may ask. PAGS, let's see, neckline break. So we go over here on TOS. PAGS has been beat down for a while. Hit a bottom. Let's see, it's been making higher lows, and now it's cracking this 200 moving average right at the 940s, maybe. Hit a high of nines, like right under the 970s, but we'll see. Needs more volume. More volume. We need volume. But there may be a swing for him, so I don't know. All right, LIFW up 100%. Absolute trash. Up 100%, moving 1 cent at a time. AGRI down 12%. CGC also making its way down. Previous low was at the 125s. Who said that? Okay. Um, the live. Okay, so HOLO is one that is up right now. It is a lower float. I saw it earlier, but it's popping up on my scans. Holo does not have any news, but getting pops off of this bottom. Previous bottom was what, the 128s? Down here. If we look at the daily chart, look over here at this daily chart. Man, this thing gives back some stuff. Oh my goodness. Daily chart dropped from 35. I'm guessing this was the IPO date, to 50 something or $3. Rips up here in 2023 January, comes back down. Yeah, I just don't like this. Look at this. I'm good. I don't want that. That's $1 41 cent. And look at this candle. These big old candles mean something. This means that fair value was nowhere here. It just absolutely dumped yesterday. And I'm okay with not putting my feet in that one. Especially not need something better than that. And sometimes what I like to do is just look over here and I want to see what, actually, let me see why this is, I want to see my calculations. Why are my calculations tripping? Some of them are coming in, some of them are not. Okay, let's see if we can get it recalculated. Okay, there they are. All right, so yeah, these calculations right here on my TOS are basically what percent that it's moving from the open. You know, these big red ones, hey, it's down 11%. That thing is definitely getting beat down by the shorts. If we look out here on the daily chart, we can see that reflect out here. Got a high of 15 cents and now is red. Another thing that I like to pay attention to is the relative volume in comparison to its average day. So I have the average trading on over here on the other one in my Street Smart Edge. So I have the average volume year to date over here, so I can kind of compare with the current volume that is currently doing. So we look at NKLA here. The volume today is 54 million. A average yearly date, or average on average this year, we've seen 47 million shares traded. So I mean, it's not really out of the norm if you look at that. But this one, like LIFW, its average volume year to date was only 500 something shares traded, and today it's trading 87 million shares. So that is definitely abnormal. But we have to clue in on other factors like the float and the overall catalyst on the day. Why is it doing this move? Just because it has abnormal volume doesn't mean, you know, it's a great place to be. All right, CGC coming on down. 141s. Only up 12% now. BDRX, the one that Reliable called a little bit earlier, just kind of teetering around. 433,000 shares traded. Reliable, man, bro, you know what? I think the market don't like you because every time you try to get in, you got you a call out there. It never feels. It's like, nah, we good. He don't need to get in. I actually I kind of experienced that on some of my trades, but most of my trades are so low. It's like I usually don't have to fish for too many shares. It just comes and fills me, and I can get filled in any type of order, limit, market, whatever. But I'd rather get filled on a limit because I get the price that I want or better. Market orders kind of leave you in the wind, especially on big ranges. Let's say if you have a 30-cent spread, you know, that 30-cent spread, you may get filled. Let's say if it's a $12 stock and you're trying to get filled at 12.15, but it's a 30-cent spread. You may get filled at 12.25, 10 cents higher than you want it, and then it snaps down like yesterday with UPTD. Perfect example of going up there and getting snatched into something on a market order. So I'm like, yep, I'm good. Give me the limit orders. And I think that's what Reliable uses a lot too, is limit orders. He puts his limit orders out there. If they get filled, great. But sometimes, it's just right there at it where it just does not want to fill you to get within a cent, and then it pop back up. So you're not exactly wrong, but you're not exactly right, which it can mess with your mental. You're like, how is it just 1 cent away and now it's popping and now it's up 30, 40 cents? All right, so CGC looking like it wants to try to test the 150s up there, continue to get a little poppy. Had a pop down here to the 140s. It's up about 10 cents. And now is popping through the 150s on CGC. Previous resistance, we'll call it at the 150. Only a 3-cent breakout. We'll see how it handles holding over this 150. We can look at this. 132,000 shares was just there and then disappeared. And then right here on the bid, I keep seeing 100,000 something on the bid and ask. Very questionable. Will it get back below the 150s? They're trying to get it back under there, but it keeps popping back over. Woo! Okay. Big buy up, but it's only up 4 cents. That's the thing. Usually if we had a higher priced stock, I mean, you could be up 20 cents, 30 cents on a breakout like that. But maybe it's not done. It's got almost 30 million shares traded on it. It is number 4 on the day when it comes to volume that I'm seeing. So definitely up there being seen. Oh yeah, I said we're going to get rid of these trash stocks. LIFW, trash. Nikola, trash. Well, trash for a day trade. I won't say it's trash overall. Next week it could be up a little bit higher, but as for a day trade, AGRI, only 15 cents. Probably not going to be the one everybody's looking at. So at this point, of course I usually don't just be trading right out of the open. At this point, I want to think to myself, is what I see that is up going to be able to continue to increase in value? We saw a breakout on this thing over the 150, and it's not strongly pushing away from the 150. It's kind of just back and forth, the yo-yo effect. So I'm thinking to myself, what would be the risk management system for something like this? We know that it tested the 140s down here, and I mean, it's kind of closing at its range already, and we just opened up. So we'll see. We got this sort of indecision candle down here on the hour chart. This indecision right around 45. Oh, another thing on my other setup, the setup that I have in my other office is actually, I actually have this setting on there. Volume. I was wondering what I'm missing. Okay, this is one thing that I do have on here though. Is the volume at certain prices on the side. Missing both of those. I should have added those before, but I just forgot. A lot of times when I'm here, I just be like, oh, whatever. And now you can see it kind of coming down from that level. But what the volume at this price does is it shows you the battle between the buyers and the sellers, or the sentiment of buying and selling. And at this point, buyers were winning for a while here, and now that red is slowly creeping in, slowly getting more and more sales off. But that's on the hour chart. We can also do that for the 15-minute volume at the price. And I kind of like to see my volume overall. Where is my studies? There we go. Okay. See, a lot of times I have a more screens at the other place, and I'm like, yeah, I just use everything that I can to analyze what's going on at a particular time and look for those good buying and selling areas. And even if I'm not going short, it's great to be able to understand why somebody would go short. Because if you don't know, could be feeding somebody's pocket. All right. What would cause somebody to want to go short? And this thing is starting to recapture the 150s. I'm gonna see how this candle closes on this 15-minute. It's 3 minutes into this 15-minute. Of course, it can definitely still do a lot. Seeing that, look at that. You can see those buyers taking over their rate. It's going full green. We'll see if the sellers want to keep it under the 150s, but they're going to definitely have to do some work here. This is a lot of buying pressure from the 44 up here to the 50s. And I think TOS also has something like this where you can put the volume at a specific price on your charts. I just haven't looked at it in TOS in a while. I know it's in there, but just to see the visual representation of the battle between the buyers and sellers, where sellers have won, where buyers have won, or where it is indecision. So if it's indecision, it's almost like half and half, green and red. But of course, this thing isn't done. We'll see what it wants to do here. Donnell said nothing for me in small cap. Reliable is always in Baba. My guy's been babysitting Baba forever. Baba is his what's that word? Alma mater or something like that. I forget. Something like a his calling card in the market, I guess. But yeah, Baba's doing his thing up here. Going back and forth. Let's see. All right. So CGC, more struggle in this area. How many shares have been traded on this first candle? First candle volume was 23 million, which is a lot. This candle is 8 million. So that is quite a bit of a drop off, getting away from that 150 level. AWIN is trash. We want stuff that is going to give us the range that we're looking for. And right now, I'm just not seeing it. ARM is down. A lot of red on the day. Actually, what I haven't looked at is what is the market watch doing? Visual. So on the market watch, we can see that there's definitely a little bit of a cool down in the market on this Friday. A little bit of red. Of course, we're getting another thing that I traded earlier this week. FFIE is back up here as well. I'm going to look at that real quick. I traded that earlier this week. FFIE coming down to the $5. Hit another little level down here of the 470. Got 1 million shares traded, only up 4%. I don't know how active it can get, but you know, its average trade is, or its average trading volume is 1 million, around 1 million shares, 1,200,000. And it's right almost to that level. So this is not extraordinary for its average. So I don't know if I'm super into what it's got going on over there. CGC continue to try to test this 150, but again, this candle, this is why I like for candles to close. If this candle can close with a lot of buying pressure in here, you know, there's a higher inclination that it may go higher. But as long as it's flip-flopping around, you never know where this thing may end. It may go ahead and drop down here to the 145s, may go ahead and drop down to the 142s. And, you know, buying here is just too much unknown, especially looking at the daily chart. UPTD, just no volume there. Not really interested in that. Holo was the one. I'm just, nah. But anyway, as of now for Friday, I'm not really seeing a whole lot, but sometimes things, when it's a day like this, sometimes you get those random pop-ups that just get you in and ruin your weekend. They pop up, you know, 100%, something like that out of nowhere. No news, nothing, just going. And people try to take part on Friday. And things just don't go the way you want them. Reliable also called out GM. I have about 7 minutes on the stream, and I'm gonna be trying to get to this meeting. I got a meeting in a little bit. GM is strong from the 33s up there. And let's look at the overall market. We never did look at the SPY on today, because that's one thing that you have to do on days like this. Like, look at the NQ. NQ doing a little drip drop, red on the day. The SPY is also red on the day. Now, earlier, back around this candle here, I had marked these levels up as a low for, I saw the buying pressure here on the 443s, and I saw a little bit of I guess you can call it, well, let's just say the body of this candle, and then the top side of this, which was a 448s. And I was like, okay, I wonder what a test of each one of these looks like. And it did test each one of these, and now it looks like it tested above it, and now it's coming right back down, failing through these levels, 446, and we'll see if 443 ends up being another hold point, or if it wants to go down some more. But right now, the SPY is definitely, and this is why you have to know what's going on in the overall market. For things that strongly follow the SPY, you need to know this is happening. Because if you're trading something like, what's something that strongly follows the SPY, Amazon, or let's go look at something that's strongly Amazon. So like Amazon here, if you know that the SPY is doing this dip off right here, then on Amazon, you already know the sentiment is going to be kind of bearish. But you know, those rules sometimes do not apply. Sometimes they will apply in inverse in the low floats, especially for stocks that just don't care. When the SPY is dumping, sometimes we'll have days where something's up 200% as a low float and the SPY is dumping. It's like, what in the world's going on? But it's so strong. But yeah, it's a good look over the markets today. If you have any questions or comments or anything like that, we have the Discord you can get in. We talk in there all day about different things, unless we have a dead day like this with literally nothing to talk about, except that the SPY is falling. And then most days, Mondays, Tuesdays, everything like that, we're in the Discord chatting it up. I think the Discord link has been dropped in the chat as well. Of course, Reliable Rudy may be going live after this. But yeah, that's my episode for today. Just kind of looking over the market, not getting boiled or baked in the market, just looking for the market to give me money, right? Rather than me trying to force my way into money. Because this week has definitely been a weird one when it comes to continuation and things chopping back against you. But those opportunities will continue to come. And like I said, this is the CGC that we were watching at the 150. And now it's all the way back down here to the 140s. Remember, I said you never know where this candle is going to close. And look where it's down to now. And this candle still has 3 minutes on it. So it can definitely continue diving down here. So, you know, like I said, this is for entertainment purposes, though. Make sure that you do your own research, formulate your own thesis. What I say is what I say really doesn't matter, but if you can glean some things, dope. But yeah, that is it for me today. I need to get ready for this meeting. Appreciate you guys. I'll be back on Monday morning. And as always, if you're going to continue trading, keep your head on a swivel. Don't get your weekend ruined. But yeah, let's think. I think that's everything that I need to do. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.